What makes a sequel truly better than the original? Bigger stakes? Better characters? Better action? Or that rare moment when a franchise levels up and becomes iconic? Today we're counting down sequels that didn't just meet expectations. They became the version people remember most. Some were massive box office hits, some became critical darlings, and some did the hardest thing a sequel can do: make the original feel like the warm-up. Let's jump in. Dr. Sleep, 2019. This one's a fascinating case because it isn't trying to be The Shining 2. It's more like a spiritual sequel that mixes trauma drama, creepy supernatural horror, and a full-on showdown vibe. What makes it stronger for a lot of people is that it's more emotionally direct. You're not just watching scary mystery, you're watching someone trying to live with what happened to them. It's confident, modern, and surprisingly heartfelt for something this dark. Aliens, 1986. Going from Alien to Aliens is one of the boldest sequel pivots ever. Slow-burn horror becomes full-scale action survival. And somehow it works perfectly. It expands the world without losing the terror. It adds squad dynamics, escalation, and constant pressure, while making Ripley even more iconic. It's louder, bigger, and more rewatchable, but still keeps that feeling that at any moment, everything can go wrong. Mad Max: Fury Road, 2015. This movie is basically 2 hours of adrenaline, and that's a compliment. Fury Road doesn't just continue Mad Max, it reinvents it with insane practical stunts, relentless pacing, and one of the most unforgettable modern action characters in Furiosa. The story is simple, but the filmmaking is next level. Every shot looks deliberate, every chase feels like a final boss, and the whole film proves you can tell a huge story through pure moment. Toy Story 2, 1999. A lot of sequels go bigger. Toy Story 2 goes deeper. It keeps the humor and adventure, but adds emotional weight about being outgrown and left behind. It introduces characters that became instantly iconic, and expands the world in a way that makes the original feel like just the beginning. It's funny, sweet, and it hits harder than you expect, the kind of sequel that becomes a classic on its. Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 1991. This is the rare sequel that upgrades everything: scale, effects, action, and emotion. The original is a gritty sci-fi thriller. T2 becomes a blockbuster masterpiece without losing its soul. It flips the core idea in a genius way, gives the story real heart, and sets the standard for action sequels for decades. Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, 1980. If the first movie was a phenomenon, this is where the saga becomes mythic. It deepens the characters, darkens the tone, and makes the universe feel bigger and more dangerous. It doesn't play it safe. It raises the emotional stakes and makes consequences feel real. It's packed with moments that became pop culture DNA, and it's the kind of sequel that turns a great franchise into a legendary. Shrek 2, 2004. This is one of the most beloved sequels ever for a reason. Shrek 2 takes everything that worked and adds sharper comedy, better supporting characters, bigger world building, and scenes that feel like instant classics. It leans harder into fairy tale satire while still keeping the heart. It's the sequel people quote, meme, and rewatch, the one that arguably defines the whole fra. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, 2014. This is one of the best serious blockbuster sequels of the modern era. It takes the setup from the first film and turns it into a tense, emotional drama about leadership, survival, and whether peace is even possible. It levels up Caesar as a character in a way that feels genuinely powerful, not just impressive technology. It's intense, smart, and loaded with scenes where the tension is so high you can feel the room. Zootopia 2, 2025. This is the definition of a sequel that shows up with something to prove. It keeps the buddy detective charm but expands the world and builds a bigger mystery, while still keeping the emotional relationship at the center. When a sequel manages to feel more fun and more layered at the same time, it becomes franchise-defining. This one feels like it doesn't just continue the story, it up. Top Gun: Maverick, 2022. This is one of the clearest examples of a legacy sequel done right. It makes a decades-late follow-up feel fresh, emotional, and genuinely thrilling. It doesn't rely on nostalgia. It uses nostalgia as a foundation and then builds something bigger with real stakes and real heart. The action sequences are so intense people went back to theaters just to experience them again. So that's our list. Sequels that didn't just match the original, they became the version people remember most. Now I want to know, which sequel do you think is better than the original, and which one is totally overrated? Drop your picks in the comments. And if you want a part 2, or a worst sequels that killed a franchise list, tell me and I'll make it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.